Now, I will say, for me, there are certain events which may give me some degree of joy, but only if it is an indicator of the person being drawn closer to the truth by God, and they will ultimately become Catholic and hopefully, God willing, be saved. For example, there's that actor named Russel Brand, right? And he used to be a pagan, kind of like, I think like a Hindu heretic. No, not a Hindu pagan, right? And I also used to be a Hindu pagan when I was like, like a few years ago, like let's say like up until 2020, I think, right? So I also was a Hindu pagan the same time he was a Hindu pagan. And I recently found out that Russel Brand is now no longer a pagan. He now considers himself to be a Christian. And that brought me it brought me a lot of joy, because I have prayed for Russel Brand in the past, as far as I remember. And if this is a sign that God is going to basically convert Russel Brand to the Catholic faith, and perhaps, God willing, make him one day Saint Russel Brand, that for me is a tremendous cause for joy, right? I'm not joyful about the fact that he's a heretic spreading heresy. I'm joyful about the possibility that him renouncing paganism and now claiming to believe in Christ is a sign that perhaps God is drawing him to the church. You understand? And having him take these steps towards conversion. Because for me, for example, I was a Hindu pagan, then I became a heretic, and then I became a Catholic. You understand? So I'm hoping that that is what is happening with Russel Brand, that God has brought him out of paganism. I know he's a heretic, and I hope that God will then bring him out of heresy to the Catholic faith and save his soul in the end. You understand? So for me, that is the only way that I could find any joy in someone being a heretic or becoming a heretic, if their being a heretic is a sign that they're on the path to the true church. You understand? But if you just have some random heretic with no indicator, like it's just a random heretic, you know nothing about the guy, right? Just some random heretic, just teaching people a bunch of stuff. That's nothing to be joyful about. What's joyful about that? What's there to rejoice about? There's nothing to rejoice about there. So I was very baffled at how that guy told me that with joy. I was like, you're happy to see a Protestant teaching people a bunch of heresy? Seriously? And of course, I don't talk to that person anymore.